It's 100% entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%.
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And Austin James.
That's the bottom line. From stone to stone.
We are live tonight for Pipebomb Radio, guys. Welcome, everybody. It's a Tuesday night again. It's that time of the week. And, boy, we got some stuff in store for you all tonight. We've got a legend returning to the show, one who has been on here before and will grace us with his presence one more time because, you know, he has had such a long career. There's just no way 2 interviews could have been enough. Hell, I don't even think 3 interviews could have been enough. But
no, like I said in the past, I've said, you know, with Blackjack Mulligan, it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 parts because he's a guy that we haven't even dissected one half of his brain. I mean, that guy has a lot of stories to tell. But
that's not all, folks. We've got a blockbuster announcement to be announced here in just a few minutes. Probably something that will blow the roof off of this whole radio station bit. Well, Pipebomb Radio. And, well, you know what? I can hype it up, but I would rather hear Austin hype it up. He's a good hyper. I'll let Austin hype it up right now.
Well, you know,
hype
we
up,
actually
Austin.
just heard it in the intro of the Pipebomb Radio every single week we hear, to be the man, you have to beat the man. Ric Flair said it best, and Ric Flair was a part of the NWA, you know, really staple of the NWA. And back then, I was almost about to you know, I'm going to keep an answer about it. Anyway, Ric Flair is a big part of the NWA. We're having NWA North American Heavyweight Champion Byron Wilcott, a former guest at Pipebomb Radio, on with us just in a couple of minutes to talk about a huge, a major announcement regarding NWA. And I can tell you this, once I heard what we're planning and what's going to be happening in a couple of months, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, we haven't seen this, you know, in such a long time. And it was big back then, and I know this being reincarnated now, it's going to be even bigger.
There you go. From a blockbuster guest to a blockbuster announcement, double your pleasure, double your fun. Forget about a double feature because we've got a lot of things to talk about tonight, and it's not, we can't reveal it, but it will be revealed soon. Let's just put it that way.
Austin wants to. I accidentally I'm like, to be the man, you have to beat the man. I was about to reveal the bigger announcement right then and there, but I'm going to talk about it when Byron Wilcott, the North American Heavyweight Champion of the NWA, gets on live with us on Pipebomb Radio, which is going to be in a couple of minutes, even sooner than that.
Yeah. And, you know, while we wait, I wanted to ask you about your opinions of Raw last night. You know,
I love
give you a
Raw.
quick... I notice you do. I don't think you ever really have a bad moment with Raw too often.
Well, you know, I only talk about the things that I like instead of dwelling on negativity. There's nothing that, you know, I'm not a person that does that. If it is good, I'm going to speak about the good things. I'm never going to promote the negative things, you know. There's no need to.
Understood. Yeah, that's true. You know, with the whole, what you know, the thing is that they're putting hype around the main event for SummerSlam, and although the participants weren't there, I didn't stop it from hyping that up. And, you know, from their match in 2012, it always, to me, it left me feeling like they needed something else. They needed to do something else with these two because it just that ending they had in 2012 just left people wondering, okay, he comes back with this great return, you know, the big beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. Comes back, gets beat by John Cena, and then what? And then that ends that. So, yes, I expect nothing less than fireworks. Somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get it good.
Well, yeah, SummerSlam's shaping up to be one of the biggest SummerSlams of all time. We've got Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella. And let me tell you something. Last night when I was watching Raw and she had those 2 categories, I started freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing, you know. And she kind of even did it, you know, almost on the same level as that Triple H does it, you know. I love that moment. These moments like that are the ones that we watch wrestling for, you know. And I was mentioning this last Friday night on Friday Night Warfare that we're kind of, if anybody wants to get a little bit close to the Attitude Era, what we once had before, we're kind of getting there right now.
And you guys are also joined by, well, putting my own ego aside because I like to call myself the voice, but the actual voice of Pipebomb Radio, the one who does all of the intros for all of the shows on the network, Nate Milton, and he gave some great insight on things as far as his thoughts on the state of professional wrestling right now, from all aspects, because you guys really examined everything. You, Matt, and him really kind of took it home and had a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And as far as SummerSlam goes, there are a few matches that I'm looking forward to seeing, and some that, well, I'm wondering where they'll go with it. This whole thing, I'm trying to get used to the idea. Although I do like it, it's still new to me. With Paige being being the heel character that she is, knowing that her mom was always that kind of heel character and did it well and does it really well still.
Yeah, I've said this.
I want to see where this goes.
That Paige, as a heel, is where she needs to be. She's more comfortable in that type of role than what she was.
I think she is too. She's always been like that darker character. And you like to quote your favorite, one of your favorites of all time, William Regal, about how he refers to her as. Regal, if there's anybody that people can learn from about being a good bad guy, it's him.
Yeah, William Regal calls her the enchanted raven-haired lady, or Helen Boots, Miss Helen Boots. He likes to refer to her as that. And I think Paige is such a great performer.
You know what? And she's going to have her chance to step it up against AJ Lee. AJ has been their prized possession type of diva, and it's not so much she's the prized possession because they do have their total divas. But I don't know. I mean, I've always been a kind of a person that I want to see the girls wrestle. It's okay with a little bit of drama, but not the whole time. I would like to see definitely a good wrestling match. And I've seen it. I'm not going to say I haven't seen it. There's very rare moments that I do get to see it, and when I do, woo-wee. And let's just say when I include the woo, you think about the NXT matchup between Natalya and Charlotte.
Amen.
I don't like to sit through a lot of divas matches, as most people really don't. I mean, let's just be honest. Not many people like it. But I sat through that. And I actually did watch the whole show, but I sat through that one, and you could feel the emotion in that match. It didn't even really need Rick and Brett there. They really didn't. They weren't needed. They were irrelevant. It was all about those two in the ring, and they just brought it.
Yeah, that was one of the best matches I've ever seen. And when talking about divas matches, definitely in the top 10, maybe even number 1. There was a lot of emotion.
Alrighty, it looks like we may have the one and only NWA North American Heavyweight Champion. I hope I said that right, because I know Mr. Byron will get on me if I say it wrong. Nonetheless, the champ is here.
It's the
How you doing, Mr. Wilcott? How you doing?
I'm great, and it's the NWA North American Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. It's a long name, but all names, just like everything on me, it's long, baby. I am here.
Oh, great.
And it's Byron Wilcott to the fellas, but to the ladies, the good-looking ladies, that is, it's Big Daddy Yum Yum, because I'm magically delicious.
Oh, yes.
It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back on the show.
Thank you. I've had a long day. Why is it every time you go out anywhere, there's always somebody that's got to invite you to a business meeting, and you go to the business meeting, you're thinking it's some great new opportunity, and they're trying to get you to be on their team in some pyramid scheme. Big Daddy Yum Yum ain't got time for that. I'm not giving you my money to invest in some buy into that. Get out of here.
Well, something that the fans can invest in, and this is a huge opportunity for people to get their hands on. And I know that the NWA brought you on here you're basically going to be one to hand out this major announcement regarding the NWA. What's that announcement about?
Oh, this is something that you can buy into. If this was a pyramid scheme, it would be the one that you want to get in on the ground floor of, everybody. This right here can make you a lot of money. I want all of you to tune in, listen to the sound of my voice, and hear this amazing opportunity I have for you. The NWA is now publishing a magazine. It's going to have all the latest happenings in the NWA all around the country. It's going to have superstar highlights. It's going to have posters. It's like PWI, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated in Walmart, but strictly and specifically for all the NWA superstars, which in my opinion are the greatest wrestlers in the country. We're going to have some interviews with them. We're going to be talking about the New Japan trips, Rob Conway's most dominant NWA World Heavyweight Championship reign, and my personal favorite, the highlight of the magazine. We're going to have a wrestler spotlight. And can you guess, in the debut issue, the inaugural first issue, who is the highlight? Can you guess?
Rob Conway? I'm kidding.
Oh, boy, you got my heart up. I think I got palpitations out. No, it's Big Daddy Yum Yum. I'm the spotlight for this month's magazine. Huh?
Is it Scratch and Sniff? I mean, the first one, right?
Oh, you know, all my pictures are Scratch and Sniff. You scratch them, they smell magically delicious. You gotta have
like Lucky Charms.
They are. But this magazine is going to be something really awesome. So you just go to NWARingside.com. You can read all the details about it. And I am going to be the spotlighted wrestler in this one for all my work that I've done on some of the highest drawing wrestling shows in the NWA. At the last NWA main event show, which me and Tim Storm headlined, we had over 1,500 people there. We raised money for charity. We raised $6,000 for charity. You know, it's pretty nice. The Carter Todd Bulldog Bells raised $6,000 in conjunction with our show. And also,
they actually
what did you say? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna throw in a quick quote. I mean, to quote somebody who used to say this, who better than Big Daddy Yum Yum to be in the spotlight?
Absolutely nobody is better.
There you go. I'll give you a quick plug there because, you're going to be in there. It's got to be something to talk about, definitely.
It's going to be great, man. Y'all got, you and all your listeners, I hope you get a chance to check it out. It's going to be on sale on NWARingside.com. It's going to be at all the NWA shows. So go check out NWA show. Maybe your favorite superstar will have a highlighted article in there. Full glossy pages.
You need to send us an autographed copy, man.
Well, I can for only $10.99.
Just a thought.
I can hook that up.
But definitely a bombshell there, guys. Definitely something huge coming, and you heard it from the man himself.
Definitely.
That is a long championship name. I will cut it short and say the North American Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. I guess I said the whole thing. The one and only Byron Wilcott. Who better to reveal this huge announcement?
And we also have the digital. It's a digital magazine. It's going to have Rob Conway in it. All the contenders he's taken on. It's going to have a look at the NWA Women's World Champion Barbie Hayden and Jason Kincaid. He had a 1,000-day reign. That is amazing. A 1,000-day reign as the Smoky Mountain champion.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. And guess what? The price,
there's more.
It's only $3.99, and you can get an autograph.
No way.
Yeah. You can get an autograph. You can get that and an autograph picture for me for only $15.99. It's gonna be great.
Can't beat that deal, folks.
Yeah, it's available on the website, on Android, iTunes, via the MagCloud app.
Wait. So you mean you can actually get it on iTunes as well? I got an iPhone.
You can get it on iTunes. Yes.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm down with that.
Byron, I actually got an iPad. I'm going to be able to view it on my iPad as well.
Well, I look great on the Retina display.
Amen.
It's like I'm floating in front of you. It's like I'm right there. Your eye can't tell the difference with the rest of the display. I love Apple products.
Amen to that, man.
Well, thank you so much, Byron.
No, go ahead. Go
ahead, Austin.
So I was saying, thank you so much, Byron, for coming on here tonight to talk about the NWA Ringside magazine. And when will this be available? Like, what's the date?
When is it available? Let me see. It's available right now. Go to NWARingside.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome news.
Awesome news. Honestly, yeah, just go and check it out. Go to NWARingside.com. All the info on how to get it, where you can download it from. They'll give you a recap on there. But basically, it's $3.99 on the Android, on iTunes via MagCloud, and we've got some talented writers: Colby Primo, Will Peden. Also, we've got Dan Murphy from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He's written an article on there as well. So it's just a whole wealth of information. It's something new that we're doing to try to get the word out there for all the great things the NWA is doing with our anti-bullying campaign, all the great promotions. We're adding different promotions. Almost every month we've added a different promotion. We've got NWA is truly becoming, or not becoming, NWA has truly become a global brand. We have many affiliates in the United States. We also have one in Australia, and I believe we have 2 in the United Kingdom. So, we just got to get Africa. Yeah, we get Africa, and we get Australia, and we're good. We've already got affiliation with Japan, so that covers Asia. We just need an African promotion and an Australian. Come on, you Africans and Aussies, get in with NWA.
That would be freaking awesome. Then you guys would be ruling the world.
I mean, the NWA is great. Africa has given us Ebola in Atlanta. We're going to give them the NWA magazine.
That's right. You can't beat that, guys. You can't beat that.
You can't beat it. I think it's an even trade.
That is awesome. And we thank you for coming on and sharing it with us tonight, man.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. And y'all have a good night.
You do the same, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. A blockbuster announcement, folks, from one of the most prestigious wrestling companies in the world today, or ever, the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Yes, go ahead.
Did he just say $3.99 for the magazine? I mean,
$3.99? Are you out of your mind?
I'm freaking out here. I'm speechless. iPhones, iPads.
Wait. Whoa. Backtrack. Did Austin say he's speechless? Holy crap. Write this on the calendar,
I'm admitting
folks.
it.
Austin
this time
is
I'm admitting it.
Speechless.
Yes, I cannot believe it's $3.99, NWA Ringside magazine. Get it now, and it's on NWARingside.com. I mean, check it out. I mean, this is a huge deal, and it's crazy. I mean, $3.99, you can view it anywhere you want. I mean, it's truly a really big step for the NWA.
And the best is yet to come. Stay tuned. Definitely, we thank him for coming on and revealing such a blockbuster announcement and revealing it here first. How cool is that? And now, we switch over from one blockbuster announcement to another blockbuster guest. As I mentioned in the beginning, I will go ahead and reach out to the legendary WWE Hall of Famer for Part 3 with Blackjack Mulligan.
The Gunslinger's coming back to town.
Something like that. Okay, it'll be a miracle if I get this done right, but pray for me, folks. I never seem to always get it down right, but I have my moments.
I'm sure Blackjack will pray for you.
No, you know what, though? I would welcome that. Blackjack is one of my favorite people, Austin's favorite person to talk to, and we've talked to a lot of people.
I've said that numerous times. We've talked to so many people.
You have, and it's worth reiterating again because, well, he's just a heck of a guy. And he's just so he loves his family so much, and he's definitely very proud of the legacy of the Wyndham family.
And we can tell you the legacy is going forward. Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, they're taking over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and place the call to the legendary Blackjack Mulligan right now. Let's take it away. Woohoo! It worked. Hey, Blackjack.
Yeah, hello, bud. How y'all doing?
Well, welcome back, man. This is Felix in Austin. We were so honored and happy to have you back on the show.
Well, I really am. I hope you can hear me clear because this is my mobile. I've got another line if you want to call on it. Can you hear me good?
We can definitely hear you good. If we start to have any problems, I'd be more than happy to, or Austin will reach out and get that number from you, and I will definitely call. But for now, we'll take it away from here. We're good. We're good.
All right, good deal, because sometimes it's battery runs down, but I was just sitting here listening to a little bit of Merle Haggard, waiting on you guys to call.
Nice.
Welcome to it.
You know, Blackjack, we've talked to so many people in the past, you know, and I've said this numerous times, that you are our favorite person to interview.
Could you say that again, please?
Well, I said, you know, we've talked to so many people in the past. I mean, Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Koloff, and I've said
Kevin
that
Von Erich.
numerous times. Yeah, Kevin Von Erich, and that you have always been the person we've said that we've enjoyed interviewing the most.
Thank you very much. You got some. That's great company you're talking about there.
And you know, you deserve to be put up there with them.
Well, they're the great ones. I'll tell you what. I'm the only guy in the world that played a little football and I've started on top and worked my way down. It's not hard to do. I opened the garden in what's called now the old garden in 1971. Bruno, and I hope you guys can hear me clear. Bruno opened the garden there as 71, I believe it was, January 71. But it's really ironic the way things were, because the guy I played football for, Tony Oberlin, also who owned the Jets, owned the Madison Square Garden. And I thought that was a pretty ironic situation.
You know, I wanted to ask Blackjack, what are your thoughts right now currently with your grandsons? You know, have you been keeping up with how they're doing on TV?
Well, you know, I really don't. I get so upset that I want to get there and do it myself. And just recently, a lot of guys, old guys, people calling in and knocking them and saying, well, it's not what it used to be, and he's not very good. So I have to lay off a little bit. And as a matter of fact, Wyatt was over with Brian Wyndham, which I call. I can't keep up with his name. He was for 3 hours. We didn't even talk about wrestling. We were talking about stuff and talking about his new babies and his new kids. They're all running around all over the floor. It really would be when they come out here and visit. Everybody, it's very normal. It's you'd be really surprised. I mean, they had the little race car going, a real little race car out driving around the property, and the girls were driving that, and some of the girls were in riding the horses, and some of the guys were working on cars and boats, and everybody was visiting and eating, and it's like a normal family get together and having fun.
Oh yeah.
I can't get out and get to have fun with it much anymore. I've had some real heart problems lately, and I was just sitting here, and I really missed that fan fest down in
Mid-Atlantic.
Charlotte. Yeah, I really wanted to go to that. I thought it might be the last. I didn't get to make any of those because the doctor didn't want me flying because of a blood clot, and I didn't get to go. But Barry made it, and Barry said it was really successful, down there and met a lot of people. So, anyway.
Yes.
Who all am I talking to? Felix? Austin?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Felix.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who all I had today.
No, it's definitely Felix and definitely Austin, and you know, I was just going to bring up the Mid-Atlantic, and if they were to have another one in the next few years or another fan fest, maybe a Legends reunion, would that be something that you might be wanting to go to eventually once you're feeling better?
Yeah, it would definitely be if I had it. I finally got it worked out money-wise with a guy, and well, I hope I got you guys. I feel like I'm breaking up, but
no. We hear you loud and clear.
All right, good. I talked to the guy on numerous occasions, and we just somehow can't get together on travel, our money, or most of the time my health. And usually I was going to do an interview for him and tape it, and I was sitting here. And I thought I was having, you eat too much Italian food or something. I thought I had too much Mexican food or something, like I always do. And I had indigestion, and my wife, she said, "We better go to the hospital." So she left me to the hospital there, and I had like 3 heart attacks up there in the emergency room. So, yeah, it was pretty dodgy, and thank goodness they got me, and I'm fine. Well, I'm not fine, but we have to worry about my blood clots. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. I definitely would if I ever stress again and get it again.
No, you know what? We're just glad that you're able to update us on how you're doing now, because above anything else, there are many fans around the world, and that will always remember your characters on television, and also the man who is also spreading the word of God on your Facebook, and they respect you and they love you. So we're always praying for you and making sure you're doing okay, and definitely sending a lot of love to you and your family.
Well, I'm really glad you mentioned that. I just got this, I started off this little internet thing, and really got a lot of knocks from guys. I mean, really devil really attacked me from some of my peers. My own peers, I was stupid and said it was silly what I was doing, and it was ridiculous, and it was making a joke, and I said, no, with the life I led, and everything I was given, I was very, very serious about my conversion, because I got to do it. What a life I had! I mean, you can't running the roads with Ric Flair and Bobby Heenan. That dusty roads. That's as exciting as it gets.
I wanted to ask you, though, Blackjack, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, when somewhere down the line, saying, if it all works out, one thing I would love to see, and I've seen something similar to this on the Internet, but is to bring together all the members of the Bobby Heenan family and gather with Bobby and almost take like a class reunion, if you will, type of picture, and have Bobby right there in the middle, and all the members of the Heenan family that are still with us. God, we're definitely blessed for that. And all take a picture together. They did one similar just a few months back with Bundy, with the Barbarian, with Orndorff, and I want to say Haku. And I know you guys are one of the first few members of the Heenan family. You and
Lanza.
I'm losing my mind here for a second.
Blackjack Lanza.
Blackjack Lanza. Yes. Forgive me, I did forget. I apologize.
No. See, I came out of that. You're exactly correct, and I would love to do something like that. I just don't know. Atlanta doesn't make any appearances anywhere, and sometimes we get together and guys have changed a lot, and I would love to do something like that. And the way Bobby and I are going, somebody better do it fast. And Jack has got pretty bad health, so he can't fly. But
you know what, though? For all you guys have done in the wrestling business, and the fact that you guys still love to give back, Even in your case right now, as many times as you allowed us to speak with you on air about just your amazing life and your career and just the great wrestling family that you have. And then Bobby, you look at Bobby as well. He still goes out and does his thing, and you know what? He's not letting nothing hold him back. He's still a man that goes out there and does things, and he's hurt himself numerous times. He's had health issues, like you mentioned. And I just have to say I have the utmost respect and admiration for you guys, because you guys are the true definition of what people should aspire to be like, be good people and give back after you've been given such a wonderful life.
Yeah, Bobby Heenan was just like the foremost manager there was. I mean, we got over there, and of course we had a good cast of people. I mean, Bruiser and Crusher, Vingania, and Carpentier, and Nick Bockwinkel, and all those people are just great people to be in Chicago with, and Milwaukee, and all around in there. And Lance and I, it was one of the most unique situations in the world. I mean, I just come to let me do the Blackjack Mulligan, let Bob Wyndham do Blackjack Mulligan thing. It just was unbelievable. It was from God to it that it was.
You know what? Blackjack, I don't mean to cut you off there. Do you want us to try to call you at your house phone? Because I'm actually having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
I'll do that. Have you got that house number?
Austin, get that. Reach out to him and get that.
All right.
I don't want to actually have you give it on air. So give it. What's that?
Yeah, just tell Blackjack to send it to me over the Facebook machine.
If you're near a computer, could you try to send it to Austin right now? I think I might have it. I'm going to double check.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
But yeah, I would rather do it that way, so that way we don't lose you.
Okay. Yeah, here, you ready? 35.
No, you don't have to give it on air, Blackjack. I will actually see if I can have it.
Let me call you. If I could just hold on a minute.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what?
that's perfect.
That would work better. That would work better.
Well,
if you know what though? Let me see. Yeah. If you can call the number here, I can give you the number, and you can call into the show.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Sure.
Did I lose you? Hang on, guys.
No problem.
And we'll work it out. We'll get it done. Okay, that is 1403.
The number here to the show is. Are you giving me the number, or am I giving you the number?
Yeah, give me the number.
Okay, it is 347 202 0399. Were you able to get that, Blackjack?
It's not ringing. It's not. I think I should have dialed one or something. Let's try that one more time. Okay.
It's area code 347 202 0399.
Yeah, one more time.
Area code 347 202 0399. Is it working? Okay, it's working. I'm going to cut off the cell phone right now. Gotcha.
Guys? All right.
Much better.
No, now we can call. But anyway, we were talking about Heenan, and I was very lucky when I started off as Mulligan. I was working with Morales, and we were selling out all around, and working with Bruno. Bruno just retired, and we were trying to get Bruno to come back. It was really wild. I mean, it was so wild over there with Morales. I mean, the crowd had got out of hand, and they were getting out of control, and I got stabbed up there real bad in Boston in 70, I think that was 71. And I got stabbed there in Boston and cut me real bad. And that was virtually well finished me for a while. And Heenan called me and said, why don't we get together over with a Bruiser and Crusher, and we'll try that over there. And he said, what do you think about that? It'll be easier on you while you're recouping. And we'll work Indianapolis, Chicago, and some Milwaukee and that area there with Burns, AWA. And I said, sure, let's do it. And you know, it's one of the most, I never really got to say what I wanted to say on the Hall of Fame thing. It just, I was in so much back pain and I didn't feel well. But it was it was such a natural thing. It clicked right away. It was like one of those real magic moments that you catch in time, and that's just meant to be, you know. And we were so good and so great together. Bobby was an automatic, and he just everything he did, he almost got us killed every night. They were. I mean, I know we probably discussed this before. I hope I don't repeat myself, but they were firing. One night they fired a gun from the balcony at the old Stockman's, at the old amphitheater there in Chicago, and one guy on the front row got hit, and something just happened not long ago. Some fellow out of Chicago from a radio station called me, and I got to talk to the promoter's wife there. Bruce's, I can't think of his name right now. His wife is still alive, and God bless her. She's such a great lady. Luce, I believe it is, Bruce Luce. And he made some of these fantastic, he made the most unbelievable looking card up that I've ever seen. It was like a fold-out spread of everything that was going to go on. Of course, there was Art Thomas, and one of the strongest men in the world, and we had Bobo Brazil. We just had all the greats, Moose Cholak, and it was such a with Heenan, it was such a fabulous time that it was unbelievable. And we also, Lance and I went on and had Lou Albano as a manager. It just didn't last too long because I was hired right out from under him, and the Blackjacks would have gone on to a lot of great things, but just money called. A guy called me one night, and the Crockett's, and offered me a deal that kind of the money the kids are making now. They're making so much money now, it's unbelievable. I have to borrow some money every now and then. These guys.
Well, you know, Blackjack, I actually wanted to bring up something because Austin had mentioned a moment that was really something that really he just really loved. One of your promos you cut. Austin, do you recall how that promo went? Do you want to try and say it and see if what Blackjack has to say?
No, I remember you.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, it's cool. You were coming into I believe it was Mid-Atlantic, and you were just brought in. I know Gordon Soley was the one basically talking about it, saying the Gunslingers coming back to town, and Bobby Heenan brought you guys in, and then you started basically take over. And I can't remember exactly what you said. I remember I watched it last week, but you're basically telling how it was going to be.
Oh, I was just like, this Blackjack Mulligan here, stop everything you do and get Mama from the kitchen, get all them dirty mouth kids in there away from that television set and watch it, because it is the Blackjack time, and Bobby Heenan and I are all here. Yeah, I said, get them dirty mouth kids into the TV. And it just caught on real quick, and I used that for a long, long time. It was kind of like my opening thing. Heenan was sitting there looking at me like I'm stupid. But where did you get that? And I said, hey, I'll handle the promos. We got a fight on the TV there. Me and Heenan. Of course, we were having fun, and it was just some very funny things happened between all of us that people don't know. We were in New York one time we were working for the old man. I'm talking about Senior, Vince Senior.
Yep.
And Vince showed up for the first time. First day we heard about him. He shows up with this banana-looking suit coat. Looks like the banana splits. And there he shows up, and I don't know if y'all have ever seen those yellow jackets they wear, those sport coats. But there he was. He showed up. So he seemed like kind of like a smart guy, smarty. So Lou and I made it this deal. I said, look, when I move forward, I push forward. I said, you duck, and I'm gonna throw an elbow, and I'll hit Vince, and we'll knock him down. We'll get rid of him, and he won't last long. He says, cool, let's do it. So we got to fighting and pushed and shoving. So Lou ducks, and Vince stepped into it. I smacked him right in the mouth with an elbow. Boom. This is live now. We're running. The tape's running. And he gets up, his nose is blood. He gets up, and he says, okay. He said, I hope you do as well in your match as you two. He said, you did pretty good here. Now that was 50 years ago. I guess who got run off? It wasn't him. The old man come running out, said, what the hell's going on out here, you guys? I said, nothing. We're doing fine. And the kid said, the billionaire said, don't worry, I got to handle it, Pop. I got to handle. What did he ever? But he was a great promoter to work for, and all those guys were. Senior was too, and Jim Crockett was a great for. In retrospect, to be honest with you, and looking back in time, you look back at what you've done certain things a different way. I relinquished there was only 3 or 4 top jobs in the business at that time, and one of them was, of course, the WWF champion, then the Vern champion, then the NWA champion, then the tag titles from Vince. And I relinquished those titles, my title, and went to Charlotte. And the work was so hard on me. I spent like 5 or 6 years there. I was virtually finished. My career, once I left Charlotte, was virtually finished because I'd been injured so many times. It was a very hard place to work. New York was a very easy place to work. The crowds were there, and just the crowd reaction was just dominant. Every building was just packed to the gills. Where in Charlotte, we had to build it, and we built it in one of the greatest territories there ever was. And when Flair was just now coming on the scene, and all my job was to just hold the place because they had a plane crash there. With Flair and everybody hurt, Johnny Valentine broken back, and I was supposed to hold the territory till they got somebody could help. They could help me out a little bit. So me and Angelo Mosca went in there and did the job, but it was very hard work. I'm talking about people can't realize that in Charlotte we worked 2 times on Saturday, 2 times on Sunday, then on Tuesday we did like 2 tapings. So that's 2, 4, 6 plus 5 other days. Sometimes you can work 10 times a week, and 10 times a week that's 500 times a year, and your body, I'd say it average probably 350 or 400 a year, and every night, and the trips were long and hard, and the matches were long and hard. And what I'm trying to say in retrospect, looking back on my body, my career would have been extended much longer if I had changed my mind and not left there. I should have stayed, but I made a lot of money and had a lot of fun and did a lot of things. But New York was the place. The work was easy. I left Lanza there. Lanza did great, and it just I think it was a mistake at this time because of the shape I'm in. I can hardly walk. My back is destroyed, but because the booker there, George Scott, was a very, very demanding boss. You couldn't just go out there and
halfway perform. He demanded. He just passed away, as a matter of fact. George Scott did, and he was a great booker, but very hard to work for. Very hard, guys. I'm doing all the talking.
You're talking about, great promoters, and Bernie Gagne comes to mind. He's actually your trainer, and I've heard stories about how there'll be 15 or 16 guys that go into his training camp, and then the next day there's only 2 standing.
Oh, he was unbelievable. He was, for some reason, I trained a little bit different way. Me and Rasky, almost everybody out of that camp become top guys. I got there, and I'd already been training for 90 days. No, I've been training for 6 months under Joe Blanchard and a promoter out of Corpus Christi, Texas, named Floyd Emerson. And when I got there, I was ready to go. I mean, I wasn't anywhere near top of the main event stuff, but I could do my thing. And so Rasky had a job putting the ring up and working the matches and stuff. So I got to work with Baron von Rasky, is who I trained with, and I got to work with everybody there for almost 2 years. And I didn't go to his school out there, but I worked with the same guys every night. But those poor guys got beat to death, and I'll tell you who all. There's so many famous guys that come out of that school. We were all there at the same time, but Rasky and I, Baron von Rasky and I, were on a different program because we'd had a little experience. But there was the Sheik, Khosrow Vaziri, and he people don't know this. They think it's a joke, but Khosrow was actually the Shah of Iran's bodyguard. I mean,
I remember
really
hearing about that.
Yeah, he actually was. So when they had to leave the country, Khosrow had to leave with him. And then there was Patera and of course Ric Flair, who was their biggest number that ever come out of there, out of anywhere, I suppose. And he just turned out to be fabulous. I can't remember exactly all those guys that were in that school. There wasn't anybody that didn't do great, I'll tell you that. He was just a great instructor and a great teacher. Of course, he had Greg there. Yeah, Greg, too. Greg Gagne was there. Then Jim Brunzell. It's just like a list of who's who. That Minneapolis, just the wannabes, just us guys, us rookies, was a list of who's who. The top main eventers, the good thing about that is some guy didn't show up. I remember one night it was a sold-out crowd, and I was just like the opening card. And Bill Watts, the weather was so bad, Bill Watts didn't show up, so I got to work the main event with Red Bastien, and that is a true experience, working with Red Bastien and Billy Red Lion. I don't know if you guys remember those boys there. They were great.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, they were fabulous.
Actually, yeah, I know Austin is a big professor. He does. He knows a lot for his young age. He knows definitely. He can go back to certain times and remember certain people even more better. And I never professed to be a historian, but Blackjack, you'd be amazed at the knowledge this young man has at such a young age. And age is not something to say. Just because he's this age doesn't mean he doesn't know nothing. But he researches information. He looks back on some of the matches. He watches documentaries. I mean, wrestling is this young man's whole life.
Wow, that's fabulous. And everybody says it's not the same, and it's not. But these boys are doing a good job, and it'll never change back again because it's just like I was at my doctor's office, and I could get an innuendo. Oh, you're an entertainer. He just kept on fudging around it, And I said, how'd you like to be entertained, Doc? I said, try a few holes. No, I was just kidding. But, I mean, when Vince did that to destroy the commissions, the boxing and wrestling commissions were taking a percentage of every show in every state because it was a functional sports event. But if he went to sports entertainment, there was no commission. So that's the reason that was done away with. And Eddie Graham did the same thing, and we all used to have licensings. And from every state, you had to go get licensed. And sometimes you had to go work out for the guys. And like in South Africa, I went over there, and that's in South Africa. I've been traveling. It's 24 hours straight just getting there. And first thing I had to do was go before the commission and have a discussion. Listen to this, guys. You guys will love this. I had to go before the commission and clear racial apartheid. I had to do an attitude check about how I felt about white men and black men and brown men, and a questionnaire. And then I had to get in the ring and wrestle, and you had to check me out. That's how strict it was in those days. And I'd just been wrestling Bobo Brazil. I was one of the few guys that just wrestled. Art Thomas and Bobo Brazil, and we did tremendous crowds down in Washington, D.C. And I loved those guys. I mean, boy, they were some of the greatest people in the world. I couldn't understand it when I got to South Africa. They had this guy that followed me around. This was so embarrassing, and I hope nobody gets offended out there. But this is just, I want to make it clear, this is how it was. I know, as a white man. I check into the hotel. I had a servant. This guy looked like Sonny Liston. He carried my bags everywhere. Called me Buona Jack, Master Jack. Said, Master Jack, I'm going to get your bag. I said, no, I got my bag. I'm taking my bag. No, please. I must carry your bag. I'm going, you got to be kidding. There's this guy carrying my little bag and takes it and puts it in the van. And that's horrifying. That's ridiculous. And everywhere I went, I'd go in a restaurant and to have dinner, and he couldn't go with me. He had to wait outside while I ate dinner. I had a sandwich or whatever, and I would bring him something. They'd let me do that. That's how different countries are. All over there, all of Nigeria, all those countries have changed names now. It was Rhodesia, and I can't remember all the different names that I worked in, and very, very, very prejudiced people. And it's totally. I told those guys. I said, "There's a soccer. They had these giant soccer stadiums." I said, which would hold hundreds of thousands of people. And I said, I'll sell that. I work with a guy named. I won the super heavyweight championship from this guy, and I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, it's in Wikipedia under super heavyweight champion of the world. But anyway, I wrestled him, and he said, nobody will ever touch my white skin. And I told the promoter, I said, if you want me to draw, we're drawing about 20,000 people, sold out. And I did the first live TV in Cape Town, South Africa, and Premier Botha, B-O-T-H-A, Botha was there at the live. He got so upset because I beat Jan Wilkins, that's the boy's name. Big Jan Wilkins. He was a big guy, about 6'7", real slim in shape. And the premier of the country would not even shake my hand or his hand. And I told the promoter, I said, look, I was the world champion there, what they call a super heavyweight champion. I said, you want me to put 100,000 people in that stadium? Why? I said, let me bring Bobo Brazil over here, and I'll wrestle Bobo Brazil in Wimbledon soccer field in Johannesburg, and I'll give you 100,000 people. Now multiply your numbers, your money. Oh no, we could never do that. Oh no, we would all be lined up and shot. I said, you gotta be kidding. I said, what's with? No, I just dropped it. I quit going there. Finally, Ali changed that thing. Ali and Foreman had that big fight down in Sun City, and kind of got things going around. And thanks. Anyway, go ahead, ask me some questions, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know how to talk.
That's okay. No, I actually do have a question from Facebook. It says, during your time with working with some of the Southern promoters, did you run into any kind of prejudice during that time? Anything that anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was the United States champion, and they put that little old belt on me, and it really was very successful. I didn't really need a belt, and they were never going to give me the world championship because they were worried about my attitude or who I was. Sometimes if I decide I think you should be the champion, I'd drop the belt to you. And I did some strange things to people, and they wound up champions and they didn't even know it. But they were worried about me doing that. So, yes, there was a little town, I call it Columbia, South Carolina, and we were selling out. I came out, and I had a brand new car, I bought a brand new Chrysler, and the building promoter said, Jack, no, you don't want to go out there. There's a riot outside, and he said they've destroyed your car. They've burned it. They beat the windows out of it. They beat the hoods out. He said they flattened the tires. He said it's totally destroyed. The cops are out there now, and he said they're hauling it off and they're arresting people now. And I had wrestled Rufus Jones, and I said we were so hot. It got so hot, and the heat was so great around there, all around the South, Columbia and Charleston, all those southern towns. It didn't matter. Richmond was hot too. But I said, hey, look, why don't you let me drop that title to Rufus? Well, you'd think I'd have mentioned serving grits in the Waldorf Astoria or something. My God, they went nuts. So, yeah, a lot of occasions, and I've been told that thing I did with Bobo Brazil in Washington D.C. was the first. Not too many people. I wrestled Bobo. Vince said, "Will I wrestle Bobo?" I said, "Sure." I love what you're talking about. Well, I wrestled Bobo. See, I've been a football player, so none of this bothered me. I mean, football was already integrated in college and everything, so there wasn't even a thought. That's something that I didn't think about, and people made big deals of it. I never thought about it. And me and Bobo Brazil sold out Washington, D.C., and he used to give a headbutt, and I said, well, he won't headbutt me because I got a surprise for him. So I showed up with one of them boxing headgears, them big old puffy boxing headgears you put on. I said, he won't headbutt me. So anyway, he took my headgear off and beat me anyway. You guys remember Bobo Brazil?
Oh yeah.
He's a fabulous man. He's just one of the supermen of all time. And Art Thomas was so strong. He was one of the strongest men in the world. And I'm talking back when the guy that did all the first Hercules movies. I can't remember their name. Bodybuilders, not wrestlers. They were all famous. Art Thomas was much stronger than those guys, and one of them was a South African, and the other one Steve Reeves. Yeah, Steve Reeves. And he was much better built than. So was Carpentier. We had a lot of bodybuilders that were really fabulously developed, back in those days.
And towards the end of the 1980s, kind of part of the later parts of the 1980s. In 1986, I think you guys were actually a part of the kind of like a faction, the Machine. You were actually under a mask along with Andre the Giant and Bill Eddy, who were also under the mask. How was it like wrestling? Especially with a mask on, because before that you never did that, and plus you were feuding against the Heenan family.
Yeah, I gained so much weight. I got heavy, and too heavy. And big old Bill Eadie there as a superstar. And Andre was hurting real bad. Andre had a bad back. He had to leave. He had to go and over to England and do that movie Princess Bride, or there was a movie he did with a little bitty guy, and some kind of fairy tale movie. So they called me and asked me if I'd do the machine thing, and I said sure. And they ordered my gear, and they said just show up, and ordered me a pair of boots. I said, well, who you got there that's got some big feet? They said, well, big Stud. Here's John Stud. I said, make me a pair of some of the classic boots. These boots are like $1,000 a piece. I said, make me a pair of Stud size and send them real, and they'll fit. I'll make them work. They'll be at least maybe too big, but they'll be okay. So I showed up, and guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. Check your record book. Have the professor. It's to this day, if people don't know, the big machine was me, and the other machine was Bill Eadie, and then the other machine was, of course, Andre. And we wrestled Bobby Heenan, the Heenan family, and who else was on there? I can't remember. Hogan. No, Hogan.
Yeah,
anyway.
They called the Piper and Hogan, right?
Yeah. So it was the largest. Listen to this, guys. It was to this day. It's the largest crowd of people ever drawn to a wrestling match. Now,
wow.
Now there's some old records now that people don't remember. In Chicago, at Chicago Stadium, they drew Pat O'Connor wrestled Ed Strangler Lewis or somebody like that. I'm trying to believe. God, this is way back, guys. I'm not getting senile. It's just so long. They did 35,000 people at Chicago Stadium, and with Ed Strangler Lewis, and Pat O'Connor. So that was a lot of people drawn in the wrestling business long before we ever got there, and long before Hogan ever got there. Hogan set a lot of records, but we were doing pretty well at $4 or $5 a seat. Tickets, now how much is the ticket? $50, $30, I don't know. But at Toronto, there was hundreds. They don't know how many people were there. Now, Roop and I did a match in Kuwait. I wrestled all in Kuwait, all those Sharjah. Now, I'm talking about Arabic towns, okay, in Arabia. Mm-hmm. Everywhere but Saudi Arabia. We did Sharjah, Dubai, Doha, and Oman. And there was a match done in Iraq that did such. Oh yeah, Istanbul, Islamabad. That's where I'm talking about. Pakistan. There were so many people that we were out. The guys there wrestle on the ground. They don't wear any shoes. They wear bare feet, and they wear these sumo-looking things. These sumo jackets and pants, and their feet are all just horrible. And they booked me with a guy that looked like Lurch out of Addams Family. And Bill, as a matter of fact, Bill Eadie was booked with the world champion, their world champion called Lahara. And so the guy walks in the dressing room and says, "Let me tell you Americans, pig something now." He says, "No lose. My men, no lose. Nobody loses." I said, "Geez." And he walks out. So Bill Eadie is on before me. He's wrestling the world champion, and they put me with the monster. They got this monster somewhere out of a cave and put pants on him and made him a wrestler. God, his head was the size of a soccer ball, a basketball, and he was ugly. God, he was uglier than me. I said, I've never seen anybody uglier than me. Jesus. I get in the ring. So Eadie gets it. So Bill says, "Will you go out with me, Jack, just in case, this thing don't go right?" I said, Bill, I'm sure. I said, you can beat this guy. I don't know. We don't know how tough they are. We go out, and Bill Eadie takes this guy, and he whooped his butt. I mean, he wrapped him around the turnbuckle and pulled his eyeballs out and set him up and stuck the turnbuckle up. Well, anyway, he was sitting on the turnbuckle all twisted around. He couldn't get up. He was surrendering. He whipped him so bad. So I'm up next, and I got the meanest man in the world I'm supposed to have, right? And now this is in the country of Kuwait. And I come out, and this guy, there he is, standing there growling, huffing and puffing. His breath was so bad. I said, God, man, what's this guy been eating? Villagers or something? Man, terrible breath. So we go out there and hook up, and it was just a piece of cake. He saw Bill whoop that guy so bad that he didn't want any. He didn't want any more. He wanted to cooperate. So the rest of the tour was very easy. The Pakistans were no problem at all. Another little story. Roop was wrestling this guy. You'll have to talk to Bob Roop, but I heard this story because we were fixed to go to Iraq. Now this is all. You guys are very, very young. This is pre Desert Storm, okay? Way back. Let's say 1980 or I don't know when Desert Storm was. But Roop
1990, yeah.
Okay. Roop was their champion. Sold out crowd, big crowd. And he goes there, and Roop's a heck of an amateur wrestler. So I guess Roop really worked the guy over, and it was really embarrassing. And Saddam Hussein was there at the match. And he got really peeved, boy. I mean, just really peeved off. So he left. He wouldn't shake hands with nobody. So they all go back to the hotel, and they're getting ready to leave and come back. It's not very far from Baghdad down to Kuwait to get across there. So they were going to take a bus. So they stopped them from getting on the bus. And they said, no, Roop, you're not leaving. And you'll have to verify all this for Roop, exactly how it happened. But he had to stay over, said, you're going to have one more match. And it's going to be tomorrow or the next day. And we're going to redo that match. And then the outcome is going to be much different. And so they ordered everybody in the country to be at the matches. I mean, thousands of people. And, of course, Roop had to let the guy do what he wanted to do, and Roop got out of the country. It was his only way to leave there. So we got in some pretty good jams over there, and around some strange places. Very, very strange guys.
In your career, you've done some phenomenal, just promos and stuff. The stuff that you came up with, I'm always, listening to. I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. The way Blackjack Mulligan does it's awesome, and I think that's what made the way you said things made people want to kill you. When it came to match time, right? How do you get that? Where's the line? How do you get the people to do what you want them to do?
Well, it's like I told the kid, Wyatt, the Wyatt family kid, Wyndham. His name is Wyndham. Okay, the big boy, my big grandson, and he was wanting advice. I said, I can give you all the advice in the world, but you got to find yourself. You have to.
Yeah.
I can point you the way, but you have to find your own path. Because if you try to copy, I saw so many guys try to copy people that it didn't work out real well for them. Mm-hmm. So Wyatt, Wyatt is doing promos one day, and he run up on this Louisiana thing, and I heard it, and I said, you got it, hold it. I said, you got it now. Expand the story. For instance, my story was my girlfriend was Sarah Jo Puckett, okay? That was my girlfriend. Now, Sarah Jo Puckett was a real girl. That may not have been her name, but she was the rodeo queen from Texas, so it's very easy. And Texans are pretty good storytellers. And I I said I stole her from the Concho County Rodeo. She was like, out there they have, any of y'all ever been to rodeos?
Yeah. A couple times.
Have you guys? Well, they have a queen, a rodeo queen, right? She's in the parade, and she's at the rodeo and has a ribbon on and all that stuff. Well, I said I stole Sarah Joe Puckett from the rodeo, and they're still after me. They're still chasing me. And in one promo, I did this girl. I had this one promo, and I said, okay, I'm really going to make this go crazy. I had a girl, a little girl that weighed about 280 pounds, 280, and I had her put a sundress on, one of them little short dresses, and I said, here she is, Sarah Joe Puckett, my love, my girl, my one, the only one I cared for. They went nuts. They went totally crazy. I mean, everything. She was almost naked. We put her in the smallest dress we could find. Ugly. God, she was almost ugly as Lurch was. Golly. I said, don't worry about that. I said, honey, don't you worry about all these people screaming and hollering, because there's more of us ugly people than there is good-looking people. So there's no problem. We outnumber them. So if they start a fight, we can whoop them. So just stuff like that. I mean, and that thing about Flair and I was one of the big. It's a shame it didn't get on tape. They lost the tape somewhere. Flair and I bought this van together. We were traveling so much. I mean, we bought this $40,000 van. It had everything in it. It was equipped with everything, almost everything. But it wound up equipped there too. But anyway, we were going up and down, and Booker says, "Okay, I want to split you guys up." He said, "I'm going to make you a good guy, Mulligan." I said, "A good guy? I've never been a good guy. I've always been a heel." I said, "How can I be a good guy?" He said, "You're going to do it. You watch. I'll do it." So Flair and I had a fight on TV, like a little disagreement. I said, "Rick, let me ask you something." I said, "Why don't you clean up the van every now and then? You take it and you leave it filth and junk in there, all this stuff, those rubber things are in there, all these pantyhose are in there, and all these brassieres." I said, "What's all this junk in the van?" I said, "Take your own stuff." He said, "Well, you know something? As a matter of fact, I got something to say to you." He said, "I'm sick and tired of all that Red Man tobacco and all them cigarettes and chewing tobacco and all that crap being in Budweiser being in the van too." He said, "You never clean it up when you're through with it." He said, so we had the fight. So I'm in the ring, and Willie Nelson had given me a hat, truly a hat, a nice one, beautiful hat. And I've never had another one like it. So while I'm in the ring, Flair destroys that hat. Totally destroys.
Oh no.
Oh, he disintegrated it. I come out of the ring and I go nutso. So next week, he's in the ring. I come out with a sack, like a grocery store sack. And in that sack, I said, "Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is up there. Look, there's your sweetie pie. Here he is. Here's what he does in his part-time. I pick up these pantyhose. They're about size extra large. I said, here's pantyhose. Yeah, here's his bra. Here's his high heels. Here's his shoes." I said, "Oh, look what I've got here. Here's some lipstick and some makeup kits. So, oh, look at this. Here's a wig. He has a wig in here, too." Oh, God. So his brand new, yeah. This is on live TV now. This is TV. So one of his new, I'm talking about, he paid thousands of dollars for these robes he had. So I take his robe and I got it. He's in the ring. Koloff or somebody's in the ring with him and holding him. He can't get out. I destroy this robe. I mean, it was a beauty too. God, it was one of those blue ones, and that lady he had making them for him charged him a fortune for these things. And I mean, I disintegrated it. And he went crazy, went nuts, and we had brawls all around. And I don't think they've ever duplicated those crowds. We were out drawing New York, and it just they were getting Flair ready for the World Championship, and the rest is history, guys. So,
amen to that.
That's some of the things we do. I don't know. I don't know how I think of these things. Some of these people are real. The names that I come up with, Uncle Reba Joe, Uncle Red, and Spider Grip. Those are real guys. I was raised on a ranch, and that's the guys' names. Everybody had a nickname. Hey, there's Spider. There's Knuckles, or there's, and I can't remember their names now. There was so many of them. Reba Joe was my uncle, and what a weird name that was. But he was a real guy, a real tough guy, and he was a copy of in a town called Abilene, Texas. He had this 50 model Cadillac convertible, and he had it full of women all the time, totally loaded all the time. I mean, it was full of gals, and he was the hottest looking thing I ever seen. He was redheaded. He had this goofy looking cowboy western shirt on. Had these black and red boots on, with his pants stuffed in the boots, and a great big buckle. He was awesome looking. I said that's the way I want to grow up. God. Unfortunately, I did.
So you kind of use other people's names as other people's names as to expanding your story into something that was something that people can relate to. Yeah.
You just got to relate. The stories were out of true things from true people. You have to be real. If you're not real, people won't buy it. I mean, they'll spit you out a lot of people tried this game. And it's a rough game. And back when I was at it, you had to get in the ring with people like Moose Cholak, boy, and it was talk about a game. He was rough, boy, and the Bruiser and Crusher weren't easy to deal with either. So the work was hard, and it was more of a real game back then. The kids now are they're good. I love them. I think they're great. Some of the guys said something about Bo. Said Bo did this, Bo did. Bo's a good looking. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Dallas, Bo Dallas.
Yeah. I love him.
Well, that's my grandson. That's my youngest grandson.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Did y'all know that?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
yes,
he was actually. He's been on SmackDown and Raw, and he's doing so well. I can't even tell you. He has his Bo Leave, gimmick thing he's doing.
Bo Leave,
yeah. Gotta believe.
Well, they were knocking him about that. Billy Graham called in and knocked him. Said, I almost vomited. Well, if Billy had looked back a little bit, when he started, we weren't so great in our first matches or so. We were pretty lousy too. It takes a while. Man, you step out there in front of hard like you guys. You step out there and try to perform in front of you guys, and you're gonna, right away when it's a stinkeroo. You go to yourself, and you say, "My God, who thought of this?" And the way you respond is you don't buy a ticket anymore. You don't come back. That's just the way it works.
He's definitely been doing great for himself. But I wanted to ask, how's Barry doing?
Barry's pretty sick. He's had a rough time, and he lives here with me. He's here, and he rarely goes out. He went to. He's had a heart attack. He went to the Fan Fest, and he just came back. God, I had friends calling here, some old girlfriends calling here for him, and where is he and everything? And I said, well, he's not here, guys. I said, he's at the Fan Fest. They said, well, he won't answer the door. I said, well, I can't answer his door. I'm here, Goofy. I said, what do you want me to do? I said, call the cops and get in his house, get in his room. Well, they didn't know it, but he caught the next plane out, and he was home already. My wife told me that he's back there in the back. We have this ranch house, and we built him a bunkhouse, like a bunkhouse, in the back of it, and it's like an old cowboy western bunkhouse, and with all the modern TVs and modern electronics and everything, and he lives in there, and he never comes out hardly. It really worries me.
I actually wanted to mention, if God willing, and we'll keep Barry in our prayers as well. Definitely one amazing talent, goes without saying. We would actually like to think about, and this is something that doesn't have to be tomorrow or in the next few months or whatever. Blackjack, what do you think? And you and I have talked about this before in the past. What do you think about maybe having you and Barry on together and just having a good old time chatting, maybe on a part 4 to be determined at a later date? A part 4, we bring you and Barry on together and see what he thinks about that.
Well, it would be what he thinks. He probably wouldn't do it. I've kind of brought it up, but he doesn't talk a lot, And if he like me talking to me again over again, I'll try it. I'll ask him.
No, and that's okay. I mean, it was worth an idea to try to see if just come on and have fun. I mean, you know that Austin and I are not people that are disrespectful in any way. We have the utmost respect for you.
No, not at all, you guys. Just getting him to talk. A friend of mine called me and said they spoke with him out there. He's just quiet. He's just quiet. He's very quiet now. And he had a lot of things happen to him. I mean, he made all that money and made a top deal, and things happen. But a friend of his called me, and he said I was talking to him, and he's so quiet. He didn't talk to me, and he didn't say anything. I said, no, that's just the way he is. I can't help him. He's a recluse, and I mean, I'm a recluse because of my health. I'd be out doing all these events, believe me, because I love it. I love y'all. I love everybody, people, and I want to make appearances. And I have so many appearances, guys. I had the good Lord has got me. This internet thing is just blowed wide open. It's just, I've got so many members now, and I pray for people that are sick, and I'm really serious about it. And I get so many offers from churches for me to come in and hold a ministry deal. And so I called Renee Koloff. Renee Koloff and Ivan and I are real good friends. And I said what I wanted to do, and Renee and Ivan have a daughter that has a quartet, a group, a singing group. And I said, I got 10 dates that people have called me about. Why don't I put a deal together with me, Ivan, and Renee, and the singing group? We go in there and we do like 4 days, do a 4-day group, and a 4-day revival. And everybody was ready to go for it. And I couldn't put it together. I didn't know what. I wouldn't ask any money from the church. I asked them just to do what they can, But you have to be careful. You get on the road up there. It's expensive now. You can't travel but some of these were in Ohio. I can't get in the car and take a van with 7 of us to Ohio on nothing. You got to make money, and so you just got to pray about it to take a offering, because I don't ask for any money from the church, but you have to have some, and I just don't know how to put. Anyway, that's what I couldn't put together. How much to pay this person, this person, this person. For me, I just told the preacher, I said if I could go, I would come for nothing, but He said, no, you can't do that. I said, well, that's true. I said, you have to take up an offering for me so that I got some money to pay the motel, food, and stuff. So that's the reason I'm stuck at. But the internet thing is really great, and I wish something since you brought it up that I'd really like to do. I don't know, we might do it with Barry or not, but now I've joined.
You're more than welcome back anytime, Blackjack.
Yeah, Felix put this thing together. I've got on this new. It's called Messages. If I can put my picture up on my message, I've got Skype too. I don't see why you couldn't do what do you call this? You guys got a name for it, this interview that you're playing it now with live picture. Why couldn't we do live showing you guys and me too, talking back and forth?
Yeah, I actually think it's possible with the video chat kind of thing. I think it's what we're trying to shoot for. Kind of Skype. It's called Skype. You have you can see me, and we can have like a conversation that way. Kind of like a live edition of that,
Yeah, I've got Skype. This is actually better. It's called Facebook Message, and I found it accidentally because I'm so dumb. But anyway, I pushed the button, and my picture came up there, and I went, my God, I just sent my picture to somebody, and I don't know who it was. Some person said, hallelujah, God bless you, and I pushed the button, and I put, there I am on live TV, not live TV, live internet, talking to the guy. He can't, and it just happened that fast. It's called Messenger. But, anyway, hey, I'm going to try to do the Barry thing. Don't hold me to it. I'll try. I just, I'm afraid after about 5 minutes that we'd run everybody off. I don't know. What do you say?
And if it's not possible, that's okay. I mean, like I said, Austin and I welcome you back anytime you want to come on. I also wanted to mention one last comment to you about what we were talking about earlier. Never, you know what, keep doing what you're doing because, you know what, there's guys like Ivan Koloff, Mr. and Mrs. Koloff, yourself, a few others, like Jim Myers, who are preaching the word of the Lord, you know what, and you know what, do that because, you know what, it's a good thing. It makes people feel good, makes people feel loved because there's a lot of people that need that guidance, that understanding, that compassion. And you guys offer that to people. And I say, you know what, haters are always going to be haters. You have legions of fans worldwide who love you no matter what.
Well, I appreciate that because it really makes it hard to do if people don't appreciate it. And I've had some unbelievable things. That's a conversation within itself. I've had calls. The good Lord wakes me up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had this fellow that was he was going to commit suicide, and he was going to end his life right then. And I said, no, come on, man. You got to, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, I love you. Nobody loves me. My family's gone. My wife's gone. I said, no, it'll change. It'll change for you. I said, just let the Holy Spirit give it time. And repent of all your sins. Just ask God to save you and repent of everything that you've done wrong. And Jesus will save you and help you. And it's amazing. I'm not bragging, but it's actually worth it.
No, you should
people.
be.
And I'm proud of it. And I had a girl call me, and she called me, and she's stranded on the highway. This is the conversation in itself. We'll have to do one total just religious. She calls me, and she's on a road in a phone booth. Oh God, where is it? Some town. North Carolina. She got no money, got no nothing, and this guy rented her a room. She's afraid to go over there. I said, don't you dare go over there. I said, where's your family? She said, well, my family threw me out. I said, well, look. I said, look across the street. There's got to be a restaurant, because we used to have restaurants. My family did. And I said, I've never had a restaurant that didn't need help. Walk across there, walk in the back door, knock on the door. See if the boss is there, and see if they need a dishwasher, see if they need if they need a cook or a floor mopper. I mean, every restaurant needs somebody. They're always looking for help because nobody shows up half the time anyway. So it worked, and it just I did one thing. The girl had 3 kids, and I'll make this short, guys. The girl had 3 kids. I'm not going to tell her name. God bless her. And I called this organization, the Catholic Women's Organization. Thank God for them. They're the only ones that even help me at all. And then the guy shows up with a box, big giant box of food for the family, gives her gas money to go to work on, and boy, she's up and rolling now. She's doing fine.
That's awesome.
So that's the kind of thing that's happening.
Awesome.
So, guys, I love y'all. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
We love you too, Blackjack. And you're always welcome with us. You're one of the best, and we always will be one of the best. And best to you and the family. And we will be definitely in contact with you real soon.
Do that for sure. I'll see you. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Good night.
Blackjack, thank you so much, sir.
I didn't want him to stop.
No, oh my God, let me tell you something. I love him so much. It's real.
He said a mouthful and then some, and some stories you just sit back and you're like, holy cow, this guy has led such an amazing life. And because he's not the same character that he portrays on television, and that doesn't necessarily apply to Blackjack. That goes to any character in general, past or present. People got to realize this is not who they are. This is, a character they play on TV. The man or the woman themselves are, different people, and fans cannot separate that. And then that's why it's like I'm a little disgusted that fans would be that harsh on him for just preaching what he loves. This is what he loves, and freedom of speech. People, hello.
Yeah, it's cool that he has so many. You look at his grandsons. I mean, he has so many blessings, in his life that are. It's just amazing that the life he's led and the life that he's given, his kids to live and his grandsons to live. I mean, I think he knows actually, what he's been able to do in his life, and it's so awesome. I mean, just to be able to have the honor to speak to him, just a couple times that we have. I mean, he's so he's. I mean. When I have no words to say about this, I get caught up in saying it. I have so much respect for Blackjack Mulligan. I mean, he's truly one of the greatest, wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest talkers of all time. I mean, he knew how to do it. He still does. He's awesome. I love Blackjack Mulligan.
He was one of those bad guys, the heel characters that you just love to hate because he did it well. And there's not very many people that can do, and it's just my personal opinion. I'm not always right, and whatever. But there are not many people that I've seen that can be a really good bad guy, in my opinion. There's don't get me wrong, there's still a lot, but in my opinion, not all of them are as good as they profess to be. In my personal opinion, I believe Blackjack is definitely one of them. He's good at being bad, and he did it well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a formula to making that happen. The best bad guys are the ones who are good. I mean, in order to be bad, you have to know what goes into that. You have to be good in order to be bad, right? You have to understand what makes somebody wanna portray that type of person, and what goes into doing that, how the emotion is, and everything goes into it. And Blackjack Mulligan had it down to a T. I cannot even tell you how well he did it. I mean, he was so good. I mean, to the point that people wanted to stab him. I mean, that's bad. I mean, it's bad when people want to try to kill you. That's not a good thing. Maybe I think there's a line, but I mean, he definitely he might have crossed it a few times, but he knew where to kind of edge it off at. But he was so awesome at what he did, and he's still very talkative. As we gave people the nickname Blackjack for a reason. When they keep on talking, not in a bad way. I mean, talking stories that are people want to hear about, and they learn so many things from. Blackjack Mulligan he's an icon.
No doubt about that. And again, as I mentioned, a night of firsts tonight with a blockbuster announcement that kicked off the show with an amazing guest that we've had on, and we'll continue to have on throughout as much time as he will allow us, just to come on and just have a good time and talk about what he's up to. You know, there's so many great legends out there, and there was one question I was hoping to ask him. I'll save it for next time. But you know, and it goes back to one of our I guess from last week. I would love to see Michael Elliott make a documentary about Blackjack Mulligan, Bob Wyndham.
I would buy it in a second.
And you know, talk about the Wyndham family legacy. I mean, from him going down to Barry and Kendall to even Mike Rotundo, you know, his son-in-law, and yeah, exactly, and then to Bray and Bo. You know, they've got a rich legacy that, you know, they can put themselves up there with some of the great families in wrestling. You know, they really have created a legacy strong enough to where they can be compared to guys like the Rhodes families, guys like the Hart families, guys like the Von Erichs. You know, you can't. I'm not bashing on the Von Erichs because I love them to death. You know, they know I love the Von Erich Nation as well. But there's no taking away from the Wyndham family.
And the Blackjacks are phenomenal. Their family, the Wyndhams, all great people. You know, they know what they're doing and they have a great backing. You know, as a family, I mean, they're really close. They all have each other's backs no matter what. And you can see Bray,
the Wyndhams and the Rotundas. There we go. We'll just say that.
The Wyndhams and the Rotundas. Yeah, they all have each other's backs, and you can see, you know, Bray and Bo doing their thing on the main roster in WWE now. I mean, their history, their family's history, and they deserve to be there. And you know, speaking of, you know, next week's guest on Pipebomb Radio, we actually be having on Monster Factory, I guess you can say owner. I mean, Larry Sharp's Monster Factory. Danny Cage is going to be our guest next week on Pipebomb Radio. This guy's trained, I mean, numerous people. And speaking, one guy who's been on NXT for the past, you know, I think it's like 2 or 3 months he's been on from, you know, little spots here and there. Steve Cutler actually made it to the NXT roster within having only 23 matches, getting seen in the Monster Factory. Danny Cage is the man who trained him along with Blue Meanie and a couple others, but we're going to talk to him more about that next week on Pipebomb Radio with Danny Cage.
Wow. You know, it's going to be an interesting one because not only that, and I didn't. You said it. I don't think I heard you say it, but if I did, I apologize. If I'm not mistaken, the Headbangers trained up there too.
Oh yeah, the Headbangers, Big Show, Sheamus. I think
because I know Thrasher has mentioned working up there many times, and even on his Facebook pages, you know, talking about it. And when we had him on here last year. Wow.
Yeah,
last year.
I know at Headbangers, I'm training there. Big Show, Sheamus, so many others. I mean, we're going to talk to them all about that. But I mean, Monster Factory is a place that has been around for a long, long time, and they've been training guys for a long time. And Danny Cage, one of the people who are the owner now of the Monster Factory up in New Jersey. I mean, it's going to be a really awesome interview.
Yeah, and as far as this week goes, we've got our Friday Night Warfare. We've got the Pro Wrestling Historical Society returning this Sunday night with news on the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. Oh, mama, you don't want to miss it. Because if there's any inclination about how good it was, judging just from the pictures alone, I can only imagine what our good friend and Pro Wrestling Historical Society member and co-host of the show, Terry Kent, who was there. Ooh,
yes.
You don't want to miss that, let me tell you.
Let me tell you, Terry Kent, he took so many pictures with these legends. I'm looking at him and John Paul's Facebook pages, this past week. I'm like, oh my God! I mean, I should have been in Charlotte. My feet get so frustrated. My feet get frustrated when I'm thinking about this. I'm like, oh, they're taking pictures with Jim Cornette and the Four Horsemen. I mean, everybody was there at the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. I mean, oh my God, the pictures those guys took. I mean, off the chain.
You know, just a quick mention. Do we apologize when the beginning of the interview was a little rocky, a little bit because the phone connection, but towards the end we picked it up and we just knocked that sucker out of the park. And for those who may have had a hard time hearing in the beginning, if you did, we apologize for that, and we hope you enjoyed the other half of the interview with just Blackjack. Just, you know what? It's those kind of interviews where you just don't have to say nothing. You ask a question and you just let him go, because he was even surprised he remembered a lot of this stuff. Even that incident about hitting Vince, 50 years ago. Can you believe that?
And they still let him be a part of the Hall of Fame. No, I know it was probably.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Vince. Vince Jr. It was McMahon. I mean, Senior, right?
Yeah.
That's what
that's what I'm saying. It was just amazing, and he, like you said, he was just surprised. He remembered everything so much, and he knows, and he's definitely. He appreciates what we bring. He knows that we definitely try to bring you guys nothing but the best, as proven tonight.
We're definitely gonna have him on. In the future, he's always gonna be a mainstay on Pipebomb Radio.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. A wealth of knowledge that the young guys today could definitely learn a lot from. Just stories that he could tell you, and although he may not be able to get in there and have one more good match, I would have. That would have been another great question. If he could have had another good match, who would he have gone in there with? That would have been cool. I would have loved to see him have one last match, maybe a few years back. Get in there and step in there with maybe. I don't know. What do you think about maybe a match with Bradshaw, JBL?
I was going to say that. I was going to say the exact same thing, because isn't JBL part of the new Blackjacks from a while back with I don't think it was with Mulligan. It was with Lanza, right?
No.
It was with
JBL
Mulligan,
was
right?
the new Blackjack with Barry Windham.
Oh, okay. I was thinking there was. Yeah, you're all right. I was like, I was pretty sure that Lanza was actually tagged along with me at the beginning. Right at the beginning.
Yeah, Lanza was already retired and just an agent at the time.
I know, but remember he was an agent. So they kind of they got the idea from him with the
the
Blackjack.
That part. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. But hell of a show. So many great things brought up tonight. Just the to be allowed to reveal such a great surprise to the fans from the National Wrestling Alliance of what's to come with them, and then to bring on a man who's just synonymous with wrestling history. There's nothing left to say. There's really not. What more can you say? A memorable night, to say the least.
Well, I mean, besides that, I can say only one more thing.
What's that?
That the WWE Network is actually only $9.99. You can get it, $9.99 a month. You can't go wrong with that. You can see all the NWA, moments from the WCW and everything like that for only $9.99 a month. But besides the WWE Network, we're talking about the NWA Ringside Magazine, only $3.99. That's freaking awesome. And magazine used to be a huge, breast to the professional wrestling industry. It's a life form in itself. As far as promotion goes and all aspects, I'm glad to see it come back, with NWA and having a wrestling revival, kind of, I think that's what's been happening, a revival of wrestling on all occasions. Everywhere people are talking about professional wrestling.
Absolutely, the best is yet to come, folks. That's a cliche, but it's a good one. We're going to go ahead and call it a close, but before we do, make sure you check out all of our past shows on pipebombradio.weebly.com. It gives you the links to reach out to all of our social media, including the YouTube channel, where all of our, if you can't hear it through Blog Talk for whatever reason, and there are some, YouTube is always available. It's always
also
available
iTunes.
to hear it anytime you want. YouTube is accessed worldwide, globally. There's no way anybody cannot access YouTube.
And iTunes.
And iTunes, amen to that. iTunes, give us a rating on iTunes. Check us out with you. Take us anywhere you want to go.
And God,
just two knuckleheads having a good time.
Get
What's
those
that?
nasty mouth kids. I said, make sure you guys get your mama from the kitchen. Those nasty mouth kids up there.
See, why didn't you tell him that? You could have told him that. I love that he remembered that, though. I love that.
I know. I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually in there. That's great. Yeah, we listen to Pipebomb Radio anywhere. It's I actually had a conversation with one of the aliens up there in space. It was like last Thursday or something, and they were saying they listened to the show up on Jupiter, right? And I'm like, oh, I know, it's pretty awesome. And that's why we say it's across the nation and even up in space. It's amazing.
There you go.
It's everywhere.
Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and call it a close for tonight. Check out Austin and Matt this Friday night. And of course, check us out again next Tuesday night. So, with that, on behalf of Austin and myself for Pipebomb Radio, we're saying this is Felix saying, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody. Good night, Austin.
All right, man.